Well, hi, Janice.
Hi, Mark.
So we just had an opportunity to meet. We're at a rest area here. What's the name of this little town? Or
This is Liverpool.
This is Liverpool, and we're at a rest area next to the
Susquehanna
River, where there's some waterfalls, which is what caught my attention. But as I came here and approached you, I saw that you're reading, and we started talking a little bit and trying to get to know you a little bit better and kind of get some of your thoughts on your own life as perhaps well as, the world around us today. So from the perspective of a retired teacher, to maybe going back in your youth, what are some of the differences in those types of things? If you can go back to your 7, 8, 9-year-old self and do anything different than you did, would you? And what would it be and why?
Yeah, I would, because I grew up as a child thinking it was my job to take care of everybody and make everybody else happy, my relatives, my neighbors, and I never really took the time to do the things I wanted to do for myself. And that was kind of drummed into us as children, little girls, your job is to help everybody and, be there for all your friends, neighbors, and, So I missed out on a lot of the things that I would love to have done for myself. So I'm making up for it now.
Oh, I love to hear that. Yeah. In what ways are you making up for it?
Because I do whatever I want to do. I do help a lot of my friends still,
Sure.
but I do it in ways that I enjoy, like going to Philadelphia and taking care of their animals, or going to
Sure.
Gettysburg and taking care of their animals. But I just have a lot of friends that are into the Civil War, and I do a lot of Civil War tours, and I just do whatever I enjoy doing now.
I love that. Love that. Tell me a little bit about what it was like teaching first grade, and for how many years were you a teacher? 30.
Yes, I
And where at?
I taught in the inner city of Pittsburgh. When I first started teaching, I was still living with my parents, and the school was right down the street, and I didn't have a car. So I took the job because I could walk to work every day. And I just ended up staying there because as my parents got older and needed help, I needed to be close to them, from the school. But I saw that the school changed from the time I was a young teacher, when the parents just were so respectful and they supported you so much. And 30 years later, it kind of had changed to the point where you almost had to defend yourself to the parents. And I ended up in the hospital 4 times, emergency room 4 times, from students doing things, not just my students, but older students.
Wow.
So I just decided, no, that wasn't complete retirement, but I retired after 30 years. But I did love the children. I didn't have children of my own for various reasons, and those children were always like my children. I still keep in touch with them today.
That's awesome.
I'm invited to their weddings. They bring their when I lived in Pittsburgh, they bring their babies to meet me. So I don't regret those 30 years, but then when I retired, I had 5 other jobs after that, and just recently retired from my last job as an innkeeper.
Now you're free.
Now I am free.
I love it. So, you told me your age. I'm not going to repeat it here on video. What do you do for excitement now? Let's say the last 5 years, and what do you see yourself doing going forward?
I want to do a lot more traveling. Because for the last 5 years, I've traveled in the United States, but as far as traveling overseas, went back to London for the first time in 30 years for a World War II tour about how London coped with the war. It was fabulous. A lot of my friends are history buffs, and they organize these tours. So I just want to keep learning. I've been a history buff all my life, and I really want to keep learning about that and do more of these historical tours. We were in Normandy 5 years ago. That was absolutely amazing. It was so impressive to be there.
Are there still a lot of remnants of wartime in place, as in like memorials of sorts?
Oh my gosh, when you go to the cemetery, that cemetery at Club Omaha Beach with thousands of American graves, and the French people, even though most of them weren't even alive when Normandy happened, they take care of that cemetery. And when they see Americans, like I have a friend who's in the military, he had his cap on, they go up and they shake their hands and say thank you. Even though Dave was not alive during D-Day, they're just still very, very appreciative of what America did, to help the
At that
Canadians.
time.
So, I just love learning about history. So I would do a lot more of that, and I certainly intend to.
Well, that's awesome to hear. That's
to
like
me-
music to my
The
ears.
excitement isn't what it was when I was young. Now, excitement is nature,
Sure.
reading,
Yeah.
and just learning new things with people who I feel close to, who share my interests.
Sure.
Yeah, so that's to me what I.
So Janice, if you could share one message with the rest of this country, what would that message be and why?
Well, it's pretty much what you shared with me, Mark. It's the fact that we have so much more in common than our differences. And when I was in the 6th grade, I had a teacher that said to us, and I never forgot this, at the end of your life, it's not going to matter how much money you had, what kind of a car you drove, even what kind of grades you got, or what kind of, what kind of home you lived in. All that really matters is the world a better place for you having lived in it? And I learned that in the 6th grade, and I never forgot it. And when I became a teacher, I watered it down for 1st grade because I didn't quite put it in those words. But it was the same thing. I'd say to the kids, what really matters isn't, the nice dress that you have, or even if you got straight A's, which, believe me, I think that's great. But are you kind to your classmates? Do you help them? Do you share with them? Do you not do or say things that make them feel bad? And I learned that in the 6th grade, and I just have carried that on my whole life. And I've tried to live that way myself.
What a great message. And I'm sure my followers are going to latch on to every word of that, because many of my friends are in our 60s, 70s, and I think we're going to feel exactly the same way. So, well, thank you, Janice, for doing this for me. Something new I'm trying. And again, it's about meeting America where America's at, the people, and if I can capture it on video and share a positive message with others, I'm going to do it.
And I think it's great. And I can't wait to read your book.
Well, thank you. I look forward to. I gotta finish the journey first.
I know.
Yeah. So, well, thank you.
Well, you are quite welcome, and it was a real pleasure. This is serendipity to me. I'm thinking I'm going to sit here and read a book, which I love doing, but I end up meeting you and sharing some great conversations, and I just think it's marvelous.
That goes for both of us. I told you before, I said, I'll sleep so well tonight knowing that we had this interaction, and you've helped me get a better flavor for Pennsylvania as well.